UFC Fight Night takes place Saturday at 3 p.m. It's in Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi. And man, this card's good. It's headlined by Corey Sandhagen and undefeated fighter Umar Nurmagomedov. Why? Can anyone answer me this question? Why am I more hyped for this card than I was UFC 304? I am more hyped for this card on Saturday than I was for UFC 304. This is a good card. This is a great card for free television, a UFC Fight Night. We open this card, Mackenzie Dern versus Lupi Godinez. Never heard of her, I'm going to be honest. Obviously, I'm rooting for Mackenzie Dern. I'm a Mackenzie Dern fan. Who's not a Mackenzie Dern fan? 1.3 million followers on Instagram for a reason. We like Mackenzie Dern. Makes that fight so good. It's bettable. Mackenzie Dern right now is a slight favorite, which makes me think everyone's going to bet Mackenzie Dern, which makes me think Godinez is the side, but you never know women's fights, you know. Some girls might go out there and decide they're not going to fight at all. Hashtag Rose Namajunas. Next fight, Tony Ferguson takes on Michael Chiesa. It's probably Tony Ferguson's last time in the octagon. At least I hope so. Because, man, that man can't be taking many more brutal beatings like he has. I hope he steps away after this. And he's fighting a guy in Michael Chiesa who I thought retired. I guess he's back. I don't really know the story behind that. Man retired last year, well, over a year ago, when he lost to Kevin Holland. I remember that fight. Michael Chiesa is a minus 600 favorite. I don't understand how he's a minus 600 favorite. If there's a fight that Tony Ferguson can win, it's this one. Just because he's fighting a guy that was already out the door. When you're out the door, it's very hard to come back in. It's very hard to be locked in when you come back in. And I'm sure Tony Ferguson, all that man does is probably train. So I think this is a winnable fight for Tony Ferguson. And I don't understand the line of Michael Chiesa being minus 600. I think Tony Ferguson should be a dog, yes, but Chiesa probably should be like a minus 250 favorite, maybe minus 200. So maybe there is some slight value there on Tony Ferguson. And now my favorite fight of the card. The whole reason why I think I'm hyped for this card is Marlon Chito Vera takes on Deiveson Figueiredo. This is a big, big fight. Deiveson Figueiredo minus 150. I think that's a little too high. I think it's a little too high because right now there's a good spot to buy low on Marlon Vera. Because if you think about it this way, if the Sean O'Malley fight never happened, I would think Deiveson Figueiredo wouldn't be as big as a favorite. It would probably be closer to even. My line, I'd probably have Deiveson minus 130 around if I was making the line. He's minus 150. I'm still betting him. I'm a fan, and I think him winning makes the division so much better. It adds another guy to the championship picture because right now Marlon just got smoked by Sean O'Malley, so he's not going to have a title fight. For time to come here, he's going to have to win a couple of fights, and he's going to have to win this one to start out. I think Davison's a scary guy. I know what he did to the 125-pound division. He looks way fuller at the 135-pound division. I think he will put Marlon Chito Vera away, and he's going to be calling for a shot. He's going to be calling for a title fight. They're probably going to make him fight one more time. But, man, he's right there, and I think he's ready. This co-main event of this card is Shara Magomedov, Michael Olechuk. I was not impressed. The last time we saw Shara fight was in Magomedov was in June, I believe, also in Saudi Arabia. The man is not allowed to fight in the United States, so he's only going to fight in Saudi Arabia. That's why it was a must to get him on this card. I wasn't impressed. He's 13-0. He's got a long way to go, I think. They're giving him a vet that's lost his last 3 out of his last 4 fights. So this has to be a win. I was actually surprised he's not a bigger favorite. He's only like minus 260. He didn't impress me all that much in that fight. His leg kicks were brutal. The leg kicks were what won him the fight. It completely shut down his last opponent was the leg kicks. I think he's versing a vet this time. I think this is a good test. I don't see a round 1 knockout. I don't see a round 1 submission. I see it going a little deep, and I think Shara Magomedov just ends up being too much, and he finds a way to finish and win the fight. Corey Sandhagen. Also, Shara Magomedov, I'm probably going to parlay that with Deiveson Figueiredo just to get the price down. So if I'm going to put one unit on Deiveson Figueiredo, I like to take some of that unit if it's a favorite. If I'm betting a favorite, I like to take some of that unit and put it with another favorite that I like to win a lot, just so I can have a better price. Some of my wager then will be a better price. And if the leg loses, then some of my wager has just lost already. I like doing that. So let's say you're putting $20 down. If you put 5 on a parlay between Shara and Davison Figueiredo, you probably get a little plus money. So then when Davison fights, you got plus money running on it. And if he loses, you just lose your $20 anyway. If Shara loses, you just lose $5 or your Davison Figueiredo bet. It's proven to work out nicely for me. You could do it with Nurmagomedov as well, except in that fight, Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Man, obviously no one wants to fight this guy. 17-0, he's the 10th ranked in the division. He's fighting Corey Sandhagen, the number 2 ranked guy in the division. Corey Sandhagen, I'm a fan. I like the way he fights. I like the way he moves. He's agile. When he knocked out, I think it was Pedro Martinez, that was insane what he did in that flying knee. Man just can't seem to get over the hump. Man has been winning fight, but then he couldn't beat Sterling for a number 1 contender. He couldn't beat Jan for a number 1 contendership. He couldn't beat Dillashaw for a number 1 contendership in a crazy fight that I thought he won. I think that's just the story with him. Now, if anyone could beat this guy, I think it's Sandhagen, just because he has the power to do it. He has the craziness to do it. He has the agility to do it. But man, I think he's walking in there with a different type of animal. And he just can't get over the hump. I mean, he wins every fight that's not a number 1 title fight. That's not for a number 1 contendership. He wins every other fight except for that. That's been his whole career. I lean Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, the only thing that scares me, if you watched my UFC 304 breakdown, I called it perfectly. I said the 2 top guys, they're pretty big favorites. Everyone in the world's going to have them parlayed. The books know that. They just need one of them to win. And it happened. Bilal Muhammad walked away with a victory. It's the same thing here. Everyone's going to have these Nurmagomedov and Magomedov as a parlay. And yes, maybe this one will win because of the 3 p.m. card. The money in on it is not going to be as high as it would be for UFC 304. But I think if one of those 2 guys were going to win, I think it is Corey Sandhagen. I think it would be kind of like a Dustin Poirier thing where the step up in competition for Nurmagomedov is just way too much at one time. They're kind of throwing him too far up just because no one else wants to fight him. That's my final predictions. I got Mackenzie Dern, Michael Chiesa, although I think the line's overinflated. Davison Figueiredo. My line probably could be closer to 130. I think that's a good fight. I'm very hyped for that fight. Give me Shara Magomedov. He just inks him out at the end. Maybe he finishes him at the end. I want him to show me something in this fight. And I'm going to go Umar Nurmagomedov in a close one. I think it's going to be a close fight. I wouldn't parlay them, those last 2. But yeah, those are the predictions. Also, PFL has a card today. If you're watching this today on Friday, PFL has a card. Their playoffs, it's heavyweights and girls flyweights. I would have made a video about that, but everyone's a big favorite who I thought would win. So there's not really any point, and I don't really want to parlay those guys. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video. I'm Josh Wisley. Thank you.